something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
There you go. At least I saw it before you did. How are you? Hope you're doing all right. Has your Tuesday been worthwhile and wonderful? I hope so. Got to say good day to Harry. Sorry I haven't seen you much this afternoon, mate. I'll give you a call after the show. Vince is in the house, and not only that, but yay, first in, but he did have a bit of a heads up that I was just hitting the button. So, as he says, it doesn't count. But he does say hi, and now he can say so in real person. How are you, buddy? Now you're muted. No, I'll unmute you. You'll have to unmute yourself. It doesn't work if you don't unmute yourself. Although the wave does. Yes, it's very good. No, what? No.
I've got multiple sources here. Hang on, I'll be back.
Oh, good. So you're not ready yet? I'll just remove him. There you go. He'll wave again and let me know. Who was actually first in? Chris O, first in today. Hope you're doing well, buddy, and life, the universe, and everything. Well, if we're going to talk life, the universe, and everything, you'll be the man to talk to, I guess. Here today and gone tomorrow, we will be discussing ears and ear to that, should I say, Paul. Hello, Pegs. Or Peg's Place. I'm not sure. Sometimes it can be Peg's better half, or Peg can be called Peg for a different reason. You have inside info, sort of like our pollies with insider trading on the stock markets, punters and politics. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Our info is by no means inside. I have spent the day looking at particularly this bit of video that you're going to be looking at a bit tonight. And it could all be 100% wrong. There might be much better shooters in the world than me, or people who can assess these things better than me. And I've been looking at other people's assessments of it, all sorts of things over the last, well, I got out of bed at 6:30 this morning and started at 6:45. So pretty much all day. And I think we're all trying to associate noises and shots. What we're not really doing is getting close up and personal with it. So we'll try and endeavor to do that tonight with the little star asterisk that says, I am by no means a forensic analyst when it comes to gunshots. I am very experienced in analyzing audio sound waves. But by that, I can do certain things to them. I can, remove certain noises, background noises and frequencies and that sort of thing. I can differentiate between frequencies. I can't change them, or I'm not looking to change them. So all I'm trying to do is clean up the audio, but we haven't got too much of that here tonight. Instead, we are going to focus a fairly great deal on video. Oh, look out. He's waving again. Are you ready now, Princess? Still haven't unmuted yourself. So
yeah, no, I am. I apologize, everybody. I had 45 different screens open all at once, and all of a sudden Carl came across about 3 of them all at the same time. So it was like, he's everywhere, he's everywhere.
Oh, my God. So sunflowers in the room. God love you. I hope you are well, darling. Life, the universe, and everything goes well. And a brand new Voice of Freedom wind sheeter is coming your way with FBN displayed proudly right across the back for winning it the other night in the show. Congratulations on that. And I believe you've been in touch with the bald-headed wonder here, who is in charge of all things in procurement these days. So is that that's all sorted and in train? The order has been placed?
It has indeed. Thank you for all those that have ordered. It's quite an order that's gone in, actually. And have been informed 7 to 10 days to delivery.
Oh, okay, tremendous, awesome.
Right, that's when I get it. It'll take a little while to get from there, but yeah.
Yeah. Because the snail from where you live to where Sunflower lives, takes a while.
Sorry, Sunflower.
Well, it's just we'll put it in the fastest. We'll put it on the back of the fastest snail we can. By all means, same for everybody. The fastest snail, but I'm having all hell's problem.
And he's both.
Hello, Michelle. I did say g'day to Brett, didn't I? Margot, and hello, Sandy. God love you. You're cooking dinner. Well, I don't know. We'll try and talk slower, darling, and maybe Baz can translate through the wall for you. Oh, look out. I seem to have lost Vince there for a minute. But I hope things are going well there at the Donkey Sanctuary. And I still owe you that phone call. I will get to it. I'm sorry. Life is quite crazy. Vince is posting up a little bit of promos for us. So go to the fbn.media online or the YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already done so, folks. Like and subscribe. There is a bit of content up there at the moment with a couple of psychics who I spoke to about a week ago now, and I put it up over the weekend or early into the weekend. Now, Shay and Sarah are two Australian and internationally renowned psychics. I met Shay through mutual friends a little while ago, and I'd never met Sarah before. And I'm, pretty much on the fence when it comes to psychics. But Shay, said some lovely things about Sarah, and I believe that I have a mate of mine who's with me. He committed suicide some time ago, but I believe he's with me quite regularly. And turns out she described him to a T, standing over my shoulder. I knew he was there because as she was describing him, I said, yep, and I can tell you exactly where he's standing. Don't know why, but I knew he was right here. And it was a very interesting chat. From my perspective, you'll see a little bit of that in there, but most of it happened once the cameras had turned off, unfortunately. But
it was a good show.
Yeah, it was. And speaking of shows, they're putting, two on, really. In Boona on the 26th of July at the Civic Centre, Sarah will be doing a show where anybody who turns up has the chance of somebody on the other side wanting to make contact, and Sarah would be the lady best placed to help with that. Then on Saturday night at the Australia, I think it's called the Australia Hotel, it is a haunted hotel. Haunted by at least one entity, and that entity would be a little 9-year-old girl, very friendly, maybe possibly entity. But there are others there as well. Nothing too scary, I'm led to believe, but it is going to be interesting because I'm going to go along to that. I've never been to a haunted anything before in my life, so I'm going along purely just to film it and see what we can see. And I have a great mate of mine joining me. Now, if you're into spooky things, ghost hunting and that kind of stuff, you may have heard of the gentleman that will be joining us. I've actually done an interview. I don't do too many interviews. I generally feel that I'm the interviewer and there's nothing too much special about me to be worthy of an interview. So anyway, he turns out to be a friend of mine who asked if he could get an interview through her to me. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, no worries. Come around, we'll have a chat. And he has a podcast called Insomnia. So I appeared on that. Apparently it was a pretty good podcast. We opened a few eyes, threw a few red pills on the table, and none of it had anything to do with ghosts or specters or the other side. Anyway, Sifu, his name is pretty adept at ghost hunting and has all the equipment for it. Now, I have, if I can find it, right here beside me. It's been here for days. Where is it? There. I have the EMF reader, but I've got really good batteries in it, but I tend to find I've got to have it right up against something before it reads. So I don't know how strong or powerful it is. I'm sure Black Sheep, when he sees this, will ring and advise me. Or there might be a way I can turn it up. I'm still not completely sure how to drive it. But Sifu has much better...
You got to put the antennas on it, like in Ghostbusters.
I can see that could nearly work. So anyway, taking that, and Sifu is going to bring a whole heap of other interesting equipment that is capable of very sensitive measurement, things like temperature and light and cameras that we'll see in all sorts of different spectrums of light and all that. So it'll be interesting to see what we come up with out of it. So if you'd like to join us on that, there are a couple of tickets still available, I think. And the Boona Civic Centre or the Boona Cultural Centre is the place to get those tickets. Contact me. Can't. I'll reach out to you today and see if we can fix that up for you. But yeah, that's coming up on the 26th and the 27th of this month. And you'll see it all on FBN, on the YouTube channel, the FBN YouTube channel. Who else? Silver Fox in tonight. Silver Fox confesses it was him on the grassy knoll, or her. Not quite sure. Well, we always knew someone was on the grassy knoll. We just didn't know who put the orders there to put you on the grassy knoll. That was always the key. Of course,
or who paid for the bullet.
Or who paid for the bullet. Exactly. Angelina, how are you? Daniel's in the house. Wild Aussie lady. I don't like wild Aussie woman, though it does roll off the tongue. Oh, I shouldn't have put it that way. I beg your pardon. Wild Aussie woman. That's just fine. I'm just going to leave it like that. Miss Crunchy, Murray River, Barbara, move on. G'day, Phil Cooker. Hope you're going well, mate. Aggie.
He's going to fall over in a heap in a minute, fellas. He's almost lost it. Sorry, Carl. Please carry on. No, he's lost it. He has lost it. There you go. We knew I'd get him eventually. Well, we got himself, in fact. But that's what happens. Right? Ready things on. Right? We have fun when we... Yeah. He's gone. He's gone. So, Springtree, hello, Springtree, and that wonderful wild Aussie woman, as you said there before. Welcome aboard, Scott. Oh, behave, baby. Really? Okay, no worries.
Oh,
well, welcome along, guys. Having a great night. Now, once Carl settles down and gets back to it, I'm sure that he can compose himself and get in here with a bit more. Please take note of what's happening down on the scroll bar. All right? There is an option coming up where you get a chance to go and meet the wonderful Tim Dwyer. All right? You'll be able to talk about LifeWave patches, how they work, H2 fuel systems, talk about the proper Aussie Constitution. Look down on the bar, find the details, make the booking, and see him there. Unfortunately, I won't be. I tried to hide in Tim's boot, but he wouldn't let me in.
That's very, very slack of him because he knows that there is plenty of table space available. You've been to the venue, so you know exactly how good it is.
Oh, yeah, great venue.
Yeah, so Tim's really looking forward to getting up here, and the plan is that he will be here next Sunday for lunch, and we're hoping to see you there. So if you can get to Coomera, it's the pub nearest to Dreamworld. If you know the area, the pub is pretty good. Adele, your seats are booked. Yes, absolutely, Adele. I have your white hat here. I will bring that along, and that's part of the issue I'm having with these friggin' bags. Adele actually lives on the coast, so I said to her that I was heading into surface and I might drop it off. Unfortunately, my life went to shit like it normally does, and I never got there. So, Adele, yes, by all means, I will bring them. In fact, I will have boxes of them. We have so many available. So you won't have to pay for yours, of course. I am sorting out those who still haven't received, and I believe Tony in Melbourne still hasn't received his 10 hats. So really? I've had 2 goes. Yeah, I've had 2 goes at that. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I've had a nice conversation with the Australia Post people, but there you go. Crunch is saying that there's some big news being covered up. Of course, there always is. Crunchy, and it's in Yemen. The US Navy are getting their butts handed to them over in Yemen.
Oh,
that would be off the coast. Is that in the Red Sea, I'm guessing? I'll dig that up tonight and have a bit of a look, mate, see what we can find out there. I don't know. I'll get down to the bottom of the comments. That'll be a good start. G'day, Zippy, Springtree. I said g'day to Murray before. JJ's in the house. Scotty T is still around. Shell E. And, oh, God. Well, Shelley and I have something in common by the sound of it.
Not my fault.
So, yeah. Yeah. And Zippy, thank you very much for your support, mate. Stop leading me astray, Vince.
Yeah, that's right. Rocketansky, we appreciate your comment and see you next time. If maybe never.
Yeah, very good, very good. All right, you keep an eye on the chat because I can't see it from now on. And I will tell you, folks, that tickets for the lunch with Tim and I, and Cass will be coming along as well. Now, I've booked a table for 20, but that's a scalable table. So please ring and book yourself on that table. And if they say, oh, it's full, just say, well, keep adding tables. That's what I suggest. You can see that you just have to mention my name or Voice of Freedom, and they should put you on the table, no problems at all. I think I put the phone number in that ticker across the bottom too. It's a 07 if you're not in the area or in Queen, and you're coming from across the border. 0755029800, I think it was from memory. At any rate, Tim would love to meet you. I'd love to meet you, and Cass would love to meet you. If you've got any questions about self-managed super funds, she can help you out with that. And for that matter, gold and silver with Ainsley Bullion. Speaking of which, I might even have one of those available if you are at all interested. It will be at the same price that Ainsley will sell it for, and whatever that price is on Friday night when they lock the price down for the weekend is what it will be. I imagine somewhere around $300. That seems to be what it is. I haven't heard of gold and silver going through the roof in the last few days, and I haven't got the Ainsley page up just at the moment to show you. But come prepared if you want one of those. Might be able to help you out on Sunday at lunch with Tim Dwyer. He will also have the odd. I don't know how many he's bringing, so you might want to pre-order it with him if you need one. In Constitution, he probably has a couple of copies of those that he might put in the boot and bring up with him for delivery. I know that there is a dear friend of the program who has purchased one, and it will be hand delivered by Mr. Dwyer himself. So looking forward to all that happening over the next week or so while he's here. All right, Vincenzo, shall we partake of tonight's proceedings?
Yeah, well, on part of that, though, I was just thinking, just got a message from another person over in Adelaide, hasn't got their hats either. So I might actually send out these jackets with a signature requirement, I think, so that I make sure they get there. So just that's probably, if you get a knock on your door when you're getting your hoodies, it'll be because there's a signature requirement. Okay, guys? Yes, but let's move forward. Take it away.
That's a good idea. Oh. That is a very, very good idea. All right, folks. Now, depending on what time of the day you're watching this and what you're putting in your mouth at the time, or whether or not you might be a little queasy of the tummy, I am going to show some shots of Donald Trump's ear here. Shots is probably a bad choice. I'm going to show some images of Donald Trump's ear where it's been shot. There is blood. There may be a little bit of gore. There is going to be another picture that shows a close-up of his ear, little bits of blood capsules, all sorts of things. So just be prepared. If you are a little queasy and you don't want to see a big bloody ear all over your screen, you might want to look away for the next couple of minutes while we talk about our first picture. And that is this one here, which is a bit of a close-up of his ear. Vincenzo, tell me what you're seeing.
Okay, so the way I read this, it looks like he got clipped from the ear and across the back. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's just blood marks or whatever, and the blood that's dripping down on his face. How did that get there, etc.? Try to remember, he was sort of face down on the ground. So gravity plays a bit of an effect, or perhaps when he was being pulled up, he got knocked and it got splattered, but it doesn't really matter. But To me, that looks like there's damage, but it's not clear enough to be sure.
Where is the damage?
Up on the top part of his ear, right? So basically just this section here. Mine's fairly sunk in. You can't see mine because of the hair, but mine's fairly...
Basically, the very forward part of the top of the ear is where you're looking at. Is that right?
Yeah, just where you're poking at there now. Now, yours is very flat, isn't it? Yours is almost flat with your skin.
Yeah.
Keep going with the pictures.
All right. So I've got the fake ear one up next, but do you want to do the comparison that you put up?
No, do the fake ear one next. Just show them.
All right.
Right, so
you go ahead.
This one popped up, and it's all about the blood capsules, and this is what I love about this information in this current environment. While that looks like a really good snapshot of the ear, and there you can see quite clearly that there's a blood capsule, which they're advertising next door to it right there, on the peak of the ear just there. That's where they're saying that he's faking it, and that's a blood capsule. You've got a zoomed up picture of it towards the bottom there. Do take note, though, even this picture has a giveaway, right? And you'll see that in the next pictures that we have come up, right? See where the blood capsule is?
Oh, sorry.
All right, see where the blood capsule is sitting on his ear, where they've put it?
That's the one.
Now go into the next shot. Yeah, go into the next shot. This shot here clearly shows what Donald Trump's ears look like. Notice that he has quite an extruded front at the beginning of his ear. In the picture behind it is the other shot where the actual bullet went through. That extruded front is now missing, right? And you can see where it clipped the back end of the ear. Isn't that interesting? That was the same place that they stuck the blood capsule. But if his ear was there, there are two arrows, right? If his ear was actually not hit, then it would be protruding like it is in the first photo, right? Now, you want to know where we got these photos from? I did them. I went and sorted it. I found it, and I made it up. So it's not a modification in any format. It is straight out. A picture, a snapshot of one with a superimposed picture over the other. And you can clearly see that his ear was clipped. And in fact, that front part of the ear at the top is missing.
Okay. So today when he walked out at the RNC with the bandage on his ear, you and I were intently looking at that bandage, and I did get a photo.
Oh, you did get one?
It's not a great angle. I don't know if you've got a better one.
Yeah, I have. I'll see if I can get it to you now. Just hang on a second.
All right. That one really doesn't make it clear at the top front of his ear. So there were a couple of good images, and I do have all this taped. I just ran out of time trying to slow it down and, freeze it at the appropriate time where we could actually see, because you can see that, there is this gauze or bandage over the top of the ear, but there is a gap, very clear gap between this portion of his ear and the outer or the inner edge of the pad. So we're looking to see just how much of the person. Yeah, righto.
Right, and I should be able to.
Can you zoom it in?
Notice just here, there's now an indent where there used to be an ear, right? It's not real easy to see, but it's just there, right? And on his other picture, it comes down.
And we were looking earlier at another picture. It looks like they've put, and you would assume that they would put something like that synthetic skin, the spray-on skin, that kind of stuff over it. Bearing in mind they are saying this is a graze, more than a piercing through and through gunshot. So
it's just taking a chunk out of there, and I reckon they've just put that type of skin on top, that plastic spray skin that they can use just to keep it settled.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his whole ear, how do you tape to the front of his face, basically? But yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at him entering the RNC, standing beside his new VP choice, Senator Vance, and he looks like a very uncomfortable man. There was no exuberance, no jumping around. There was raising the arm and, fighting back a bit. But to me, he looked like a man either in pain or he was very reserved. There was no smiling. There was no huge embracing from anybody. The handshakes were not vigorous, forceful, as you would expect him to deliver. I think that this is another sign that he is carrying a chest injury from at least one other hit, as we showed in that, or I showed last night in the show, twice. I mean, admittedly, you guys only saw one of them, but I thought, turns out there's quite a lot of things I forgot in the second show that I showed you in the first show. Anyway, it made it very confusing for me to say, but I told people that. No, you didn't. I've watched the show through, but I said, anyway. So, yeah, his ear does look like it's had a little bit of work on it. Little bit of work. All right, let's have a look at the sniper shots now, shall we? Now, what I've done here is I've amalgamated two different cameras and synced up the audio and timing by gunshots. And the gunshots, well, tell a story. Anyway, let's watch this one. They're only short, these videos, until I start slowing them down. This is real time how the snipers on the roof reacted to the shooter. I want you to pay particular attention to the sniper that is kneeling and kneeling up behind his weapon.
Something to say. Take a look at what happened.
So what did you notice about that?
See, Carl believes, and I think he's partially right, that there was a shot fired at that, except that we didn't hear the shot. So I don't know. When I first looked at it, my suspicion was that he'd popped his head up. He was looking at the people pointing at the guy on the shed, and he popped his head up to have a close, and then he started to swing his whole gun around. But when you have a closer look, that might not be the case. If you want to carry on, Carl.
Thank you. I got Vince in for this instead of Sean Ambrose tonight. Sean Ambrose being a professional, almost long-distance shooter, and to do this instead because he's plinked a few rabbits with a 2022 in his day, and understands ballistics, and we've had great conversations about how this is all laid out. So don't go giving the whole plot away when I for one answer. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to play that again because you might have been watching Trump. You might have been watching the sniper. So play this again in real time.
Something to say. Take a look at what happened.
Understanding that the scopes that these snipers are on, and he's on a tripod. He's on a tripod rather that has a lock. You can lock it and mount it within a certain range. Lock it to move within a certain range. So it's never going to go higher than that, and never going to go lower than that. So he can rest the gun if he likes and looks up over it. And if something happens, all he's got to do is put weight on, and the gun will automatically be level on target sight. And this is what I'm led to believe is called something like a snapshot, because snipers do not continually keep peering through the scope. They usually have both eyes open. And if he was unsure of what that fellow was doing on the roof that he was watching at, he would have popped his head up to get both eyes on him to see if he can confirm it. Absolutely, that's when the shot happened in my mind. And he has reacted very quickly and taken a snapshot, which must have missed the sniper on the roof that was shooting at Trump. So let's move on to the next video. This is both cameras once again with the 3 sniper shots. I'm pretty sure I've slowed this down.
See something that said, take a look at what happened.
You see, in that shot, I reckon that the barrel went. All right.
Okay, what you get?
Is that the shot you're talking about?
See something that said, take a look at what happened.
So it looks like it does right on at the first shot, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
See
Almost.
something that said, take a look at what happened.
However, let's slow it down a bit further. I think that shit itself. We'll have one more go. Play it again.
My question
What do
is,
you
what
reckon?
was the second sniper doing? Looked like he was
Going backwards.
Yeah, why?
He was going in a big way. What?
It was almost like he was ducking for
Did you
cover.
take all that in? The shot.
I did. See it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 shots being the first sniper shot, this is in my opinion, right? I am simply looking for the barrel recoil from the sniper, from the police or special secret service sniper, right? That's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for a corresponding, or I'm trying to hear a corresponding sound that, is in line with what I'm seeing. And when you slow it down, and I have slowed it down a huge deal there, you're almost watching it frame by frame. I am hearing the sniper shot and then seeing old mate move, pull the trigger, and there is 2 frames difference between the noise of the sniper shot and the bang of his gun and the flex of the barrel. All right, try and watch this again. Does it make sense?
Still difficult to tell because you don't actually really hear his shot, which is surprising.
Well, I hear a deeper thud.
Yeah, I do. I hear that too.
And he is faced away from the crowd microphones, which will be aimed at the audience over the top side. Fire. So the microphones will not be in a direct.
Of all the times for you to drop out right in the middle of a very good explanation, you want to do it again?
All right. So the microphones for those picking up.
Oh, look at that!
Out around you are all faced that way. Yeah. Are you not seeing anything?
Yeah, we are now. It's funny because you dropped out for half a second again, right in the middle of that. But somebody's not liking you today. We got the explanation though. It came through.
This is turning out to be much more fucking difficult than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, all right. So yeah, the microphones are facing in the wrong direction to pick up the sniper sounds. All right, completely the wrong direction. So that's why you are listening not only for the crack of the rifle, but for the frequency or the sound of it. The two of them sound very different. That's because the person shooting at Trump was firing an AR-15, which is an Armalite that fires a 223 round, which is same sort of size. I'm reliably informed as a 22. It travels a bit faster, carries a bit more punch, and the snipers are firing a 308, which is pretty much standard issue for police and urban military work, rather than a 50 cal or something like that. They use 50 cal is a bit of overkill in an urban environment, unless there's a real war going on, I think. But the 308 is very effective with a good scope. So it's a much deeper, lower noise.
And your ears are tuned to that sort of thing too, because you've been around audio all your life. So I'm taking more your word on it than my visual at this stage, because
speaking of audio. Okay, so the red arrows up the top are the primary shots, the first 3 shots from the shooter aimed at Trump. Now, the yellow arrows indicate the report, the echo between those shots and whatever that sound was bouncing off in relation to the microphone recording it. In the blue line up the top that we're looking at, where the red arrows and the yellow arrows and the green arrows all are, that is the audio coming from the main microphone or the main camera facing Trump. The magenta-colored boxes is the audio coming from a camera that is situated further away. Now, you can still see the distance of the report, or the echo is the same. The shots actually are slightly out of sync because the microphones recorded them in different places. Sound moves over time and space differently, but they're obviously fairly close. But what you can see in the magenta colored box are other shots coming through. The first one is where the white arrows are down in between the sniper shot and the report or the echo. You can see that there is an audio lift there. There is also another audio lift after the next sniper shot. You can see there's a second spike. Now, that's come from a different weapon that is closer to the camera, the magenta camera, if you like, than it is to the blue, because you do not see it on the blue at all.
Yeah, it doesn't show up.
Yeah, doesn't show up at all. And there are quite a few others that don't show up through there too. So, I find that.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to know where the cameras were in relation to each other, wouldn't it?
Yes, and look, there have been there has been some analysis done by a lot of closet guys, a lot of ex-military guys, and none of whom appear to be snipers that I've seen at this stage. Everybody is a little bit shocked that it is possible to miss over such a distance, but nobody has actually shown the weapon. He might have been using iron sights and not having a scope on there at all. So 130 meters at iron sights, plausible.
Yeah. We haven't got to see the weapon, so we don't know.
No, they keep calling it an AR-15 assault rifle. There's nothing assault about that rifle. It is semi-automatic, but it's not an assault rifle. Assault rifles are a much higher caliber and much more rapid fire. So, but the media will go on to keep demonizing that style of weapon because, it's just what the bastards do. So, I don't know. I'm leaving that for people just to Chew on. Chill out. Microphones will be directional, only pick up the speaker and not the noise from the side. Well, yes and no, chill out. Yes and no. Microphones have different patterns.
Oh,
Yeah,
at least I remember to turn my phone off.
You better. I better take this just for a minute. Just
Yeah, that's all
look
right.
after this.
So microphones do have different patterns, and they can do that. Like the microphone that you can't see that's right here in front of me. There it is. You can just see it now coming up. Right, that one there. I have the ability to take the sound from the sides, or I can take it directly from the center, or I can give it so that it has a rounded type feature. It's all built into the microphone. So there are many changes or many things that you can do with that. Now, no matter whether you've got a fully directional mic or whether you've got one that's going to take in the side sounds, a shot is going to be loud enough that it's going to penetrate that frontwards direction. So it's going to hit, that sound's going to come in. And what we also heard was the echo come back in as well. And it's really interesting to see the timing on the chart for the echo and how exact it was each time. Right now, that was of the 3 shots, but there's more.
There's
And
more.
There's more.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's not that much more, or not at least not that much more that I've loaded up just yet. I'm still assessing, and the 5 shots. Vince and I have looked at other audio and other video, and it continues on where there are 5, I believe 5 rapid shots from the shooter.
I'd agree with that.
And there is also some return fire, but I haven't as yet been able to get enough time to stick it all. You'd be amazed how much time it takes to actually sit down and do all this, folks. So there is only me doing this today, and I've had other things I've had to do as well. So forgive me, we're not all the way through it, and that's why this whole Trump thing might drag out to a couple of shows.
Well, little bits of extra as we find them can get thrown in. So, but
what I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm not telling you furfies. You know, I want you to call me out if I'm saying something that is completely, off track here, and there are more professionals among you watching me than me. Then I'll hold my hand up and admit I'm wrong straight away.
Yeah, so Shane's got a question there. He says, forgive me for repeating himself, but he finds it hard to believe they got a picture of the bullet. Now, that picture actually comes from a professional photographer so it is an accredited picture from a renowned photographer using a high-speed and very high-quality digital camera. So, yes, it was very capable of capturing that picture. Yeah, that has been confirmed on quite a few shows.
Yeah, it's an 8K camera or higher. And the Secret Service have been using one of the cameras that they use from space on their satellites to spy on things. They use those at events like the inauguration of a new president, and they take a snapshot of the entire mall, everybody standing there. Might be 1 million people there waving. Should Trump get in November, might be more. They will be able. That picture will be of such high quality. The last one I saw was 240 or 256 gigabyte picture. So you could zoom in and see the pimples on the face of anybody in the audience anywhere.
Do you just want to say that measurement again?
I think it was 256 gigabyte pixel,
right.
like
we're all happy. Yeah, we're all happy taking wonderful high quality photos with our 8 megapixel camera. Gigabyte is 1,024 times bigger. Anyway,
and that's why it's just the most amazing quality and detail, and they can zoom in a kilometer back into a crowd and pick out somebody with a rifle. And now they have that as a video camera, but any frame of that video feed can be used as a still. So at any time in the timeline of a shot being fired, they, in theory, if it is within the view of the camera, they will have a picture of the shot or of the shooter and be able to zoom in on it. It is that good a technology.
While you're going, I'm going to go, hey, everybody, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, Sunflower. You told me to keep an eye on the chat, so I'm doing that.
Yeah, very good. Yes, please do like and subscribe. Fern says she misses her Samsung 9. It had a great camera. I have seen some nice Samsung cameras, but there is too many other things attached to them that I don't like. And I don't know, must be getting too old. Trying to learn a new operating system, just, very, very difficult indeed. So that phone call that I got there then just happened to be the Boathouse Tavern.
Right.
Now, Vince, you might recall, I rang and booked this yesterday. You might recall our dinner at the Boathouse Tavern, our lunch.
Yep.
When we arrived, I once again had booked a table for 20, and there were quite a number of people there waiting already. They had us booked for a week later. Do you recall?
Oh, it was a week later. They couldn't find us on the day. You found out it was a week later, did you?
Yes.
That explains it.
We were booked for the following Sunday. So I wasn't expecting the call I just got, but apparently somebody has just rung them to book for this weekend while watching the show. Thank you very much. And she said, oh, no, it's this coming Sunday. And they've said, oh, no, we've got him down for the 28th, which is the following week later.
At least they're consistent. Beautiful place.
Well,
nice coffee, nice meals, lovely place. Just have an issue with the booking.
Got to wonder about the quality of the staff taking the booking sometimes, because to me, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, next Sunday, well, on a Monday, would mean the following, this one coming nearest to you Sunday. However, this person does work in hospitality. This person has probably been jabbed at least 3 times and is an unwell person. And we are seeing the results.
It does say Sunday, the 21st of July at the Boathouse Tavern. I'm not even going to try and say Coomera, but from 12:30.
Coomera.
Thank you.
Coomera. All right, folks. Now, Vince also found this rather interesting little video, which I'll pop up.
Throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up. And then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election.
I don't know. How much of that did you see?
Yeah, all of it came through beautiful.
Oh, good.
Right.
Because at my end, it shit itself. So
it came through beautifully. Now, the interesting thing about that, folks, is that was on a YouTube channel 3 months ago. 3 months ago. And you can go and look it up, right? And he's talking about all of this issues that went through summer. Now, remember, we're here in a good old Australia. When we're having winter, they're having summer. When we're having spring, they're having fall, all that sort of stuff, right? And he said there that there'd be trials and tribulations during summer, and then all of a sudden it would stop. Well, guess what happened also over these last couple of days? The big secret documents case just got dismissed
Yeah.
because Jack Smith was not appointed legally. And a judge has ruled that that is the case. So, end of the secret documents case.
That's
Now-
the documents that were taken illegally from Mar-a-Lago
Yep.
when it was raided. And Jack Smith was the special prosecutor appointed in Florida, who also raised a number of other charges against Trump, which they are trying to prosecute as well. They're among the 34 other things that he's facing at the moment. And I want to say that was also involved in the litigation in New York, if only in an advisory capacity, in the case where Trump has been convicted. His involvement, and now the fact that he has been declared, his position has been declared an unlawful appointment. All the cases are gone, thrown out. They have to be thrown out. Well, they would have to.
Doesn't he still have a one going somewhere else for a January 6th indictment?
Yes, that's Washington.
Right, different state.
Different state. So how is because he's a federal prosecutor. He's a DOJ appointed special counsel. So he can raise them in any
state.
So all of those will have to go. All of it. What do I think about Trump stopping the Secret Service from protecting? Could raise his hand. Well, I removed a lot of the photos that I had here that I showed last night, I think. Let me just have a look. The way the Secret Service let him stand up and get his shoes on, the way they let him stand there and raise his hand, certainly not Secret Service protocol. But I haven't believed that he has been, his close personal protection unit has not been Secret Service, basically since he went into the White House. He didn't trust the Secret Service, and with good reason. What he did get was somebody who headed the Secret Service who was, a supporter, or at least did his job impartially. And from there, Trump employed people from within his own organization that he'd done his own security checks on and who had a proven track record. And he kept those people very close to him through his years as president in the White House. They went through Secret Service training. They looked like Secret Service. They had Secret Service badges and they had all the guns and everything else. But the fact of the matter was they were Trump's appointed people. Now, I'm confident that Trump paid for them as well. They were not put on the government purse. You'll remember that President Trump did not take a wage while he was in office. He donated everything that he got as president to various charities. So he did not burden the community with putting on extra security for him. He was already paying these blokes. The Secret Service upgraded their qualifications, obviously gave them security checks and security clearances that they would have needed. But I'm sure there would have been some areas where they would not have been allowed, particularly in military sorts of installations, that kind of thing. They would have got very close, but I don't think they would have got into the deepest, darkest places. But in that instance, Trump would have had someone ultra close to him that's been near him for a very, very long time, who would be extremely capable. And I would suspect the head of the Secret Service, who obviously he trusted if he was going to appoint him to that role and let him choice. So, there might have been some limits, but after 4 years, I would have thought they would themselves. Those ones on the stage yesterday or the day before, I think they're in training. I think they're a new security team hired by Trump, not by the government, because the government wasn't putting anybody on to help him. Hired by Trump, I think they were in training. The woman behind Trump, who is standing at the back of the stage, and I don't know if you've seen the picture. I've thought about putting it up, but people are just going to accuse me of woman bashing, and that's not the case at all. This Secret Service agent is ducking behind Trump for cover rather than running toward him or dragging him backwards off the stage. She's ducking for cover. Vince and I had an interesting conversation. We only played you Vincent last night, but if you go and look at the wider picture during the time these shots are fired, don't look at what's happening with Trump. Watch the background audience. Watch who moves. Watch who flinches, who ducks, and then watch who don't. And you'll identify a veteran. Yeah,
there was one kid there that is so on the ball, wasn't he? Like,
yeah.
God,
after
he was down.
last night's show, Vince rings me after last night's show saying, "Oh, you missed it. There's a kid being shot. He drops like a brick after the first shot. So we shared my computer. We put it into the video editor, and we looked at it frame by frame. And no, that kid is just very used to the sound of bullets and guns firing, and he instantly looked to the direction of the shooter and dropped like he'd been hit. But he watched Trump the whole way down. It wasn't an uncontrolled sort of rise back in the head. And we've heard of no children being shot. It was 2 adults.
Yeah.
So,
but man, was he quick.
Oh, yeah. And there are a lot of other people around there. A lot of other people there who are very equally quick to dive, but none of them.
Not as quick as him. Like he beat everybody by a good second, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, he was down he was on the way down before the second shot.
And shot was fired.
Everybody else starts moving after the second shot.
Yeah.
So, well, not everybody, but most people.
So now that's everybody's homework. You've got to go find the one we're talking about, right? Your challenge for this week is your mission, should you choose to accept it. No.
Exactly. Make for an interesting Friday free for all. We might just throw the link up and see what everybody says.
Yeah, that's a good idea. On the other bright note side of that, with the whole shooting thing that happened with Trump, he put out a post that talked about the fact that JF Kennedy should also have Secret Service protection because he's been refused that protection by the Biden government. Well, guess what happened not a few hours later? Announcement comes out. He has Secret Service protection. All because Trump raised it on Truth Social.
I think question.
Okay, you're a bit broken up there on that one, Carl. I'll just wait for you to drop back in, and we'll get you to say that again.
Be hearing and seeing me.
We can now. So say that again.
RFK Jr. is, has been a Democrat for God knows how long, but he's more a Republican Democrat than a Democrat. There was a great push to have him as Donald Trump's vice president to try and bring a little bit of bipartisan unity to leadership. And that was more or less stymied by the Democrats because they reckon he's too far left for them. So it's good to see that I think he's got the security that he needs and deserves. He must be disappointed because he's only gone and managed to get all that work done for getting a bit of security. But Trump's decision to take Vance on as the VP must have been made at least a week ago. And probably much longer than that. So unfortunately, that opportunity appears to be lost. And I got to say, Trump today at the RNC, while they were singing How Wonderful or whatever the song is, he looked like one of the most miserable men on earth. He looked like somebody just shat in his hat and he put it on. But I, once again, put that down.
I would suggest that.
I think he's wearing he's got a rib wound.
I would suggest that's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. His next public appearance, as far as I'm aware, is tomorrow night, their time, Friday morning, our time, where he will speak at the RNC in Wisconsin. And that speech, well, he's promised to to make it one the world will never forget. So he's changed it from his original plan. We've said that before. Some troll poked their head up here for the first time last night. They seem to know it all, especially on the first show when they poked their heads up in here. We've been speaking for some time that dates around the 15th were significant, and July was significant. There were a number of events going to happen. Now that could just be because there are events happening. The RNC announcements. I personally didn't predict a Trump assassination attempt over the weekend, but we all said there was going to be something. So, I don't know.
Mate, I had 5-1 odds on to be shot at.
Yeah. Well, I probably had 100-1 on they'd miss.
Yeah, right. Well, I think God had a hand in that one, to be quite honest. When you go back and look at some of the video, that whole second that he just turns his head, the bullet whizzes past, and he sort of starts to turn his head back again. You just, when you look at it in slow motions, it's, oh my God,
Yeah. So the trajectory, people are wondering about the trajectory of the shot. So as Trump was standing facing the stage, the shooter is about 40, I'd say between 45 and 40 degrees off to his right. There are 3 sheds behind Trump and moving back to his right. There are sniper teams on 2 of those sheds, being 2 snipers per team. And as far as I'm aware, Secret Service on a presidential outing usually has 4 sniper teams. So the shots could be coming from a lot of different places. And some could be coming from outside of the venue if they had a line. Analysis of the site shows that one of those sniper teams did not have any visual sighting of the shooter. He was behind a tree to them. However, obviously the guys that we've seen tonight, they did and had been watching him for some time. The explanations have nothing that I've seen today indicates that anybody is talking about Sniper Willis and the fact that he's been sacked for supposedly taking a shot that he wasn't authorized to take. And
if in fact that's true.
My video shows that there's a few interesting things there. Oh wow, Michelle, that's a big thing, isn't it? A 3-year-old saying I love Trump. Wow, yeah, it takes after Nanny. That's very good.
Now,
Lisa
I don't know what else.
One of Trump's security team motions to a photograph on the right in front of the podium just before the shots, offering a perfect picture now seen around the world. Yes.
That was,
they
I
also
saw
put
that.
the shortest security guard at the front, the girl, so that cameras at the front would have a clear shot. Forget the sniper. Since when does the Secret Service say there is only one shooter? They would have had him, hooped up like a dog making love to a golf ball, and they would have just skull dragged him rapidly out to that car. Instead, they let him walk at a dignified pace. Okay, they were wrapped around him. And one of the guys even put his hand over his head to shelter him, which I thought was funny. But yeah, the details seem to be a mismatch in size for Trump. Today, they didn't make that mistake. Today, his bodyguards were gargantuan around him. And I dare say from now on, if he desired it, he would have bodyguards from the UFC supplied by Dana and trained by the Secret Service. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. Now, I don't know what else you've got wound up there, Carl, into show.
Nothing. I was going to get rid of you now because we've been going an hour.
All right. Well, quickly, there's a couple of things we still haven't discussed. One was the fact that we had 5 or 6 shots. There is one piece of video, which we may play you in a different show, but not tonight, that actually shows where one of those shots went.
Oh, yeah.
It's very interesting. All right. So
actually, I think I may have loaded that up. Let me just see. I've got so many bits of video in here.
There's been so much we've got. But there's also our mate Vincent. And I can say his name because I'm a Vincent. Vincent in the back was mouthing something when everybody else was going USA. And he was not saying USA. We can all pretty much guarantee that. Now,
so last night you and I had a long discussion about that particular bit of footage because I was sure he wasn't saying USA, but I'm no lip reader. You, on the other hand, have some experience with lip reading.
A little bit. The advantage of having a deaf daughter and teaching her how to speak, you have to work a lot on the mouth and the mouth positions and how something comes out. So I actually got her in here with me, and we went over and over and over and over that again. And as best as we can make, what he said was, "We are proud." Now, that raises some questions. So now that you know what I've said it is, go back, slow it down, and watch it and mouth it with him. And I think he'll be pretty close. He also does something a little earlier, just after he sits down and they're starting to pull Trump up. I've not been able to get what that one is yet.
All right. I could, if you want, I could probably bring up that file from last night. And we can show Vincenzo.
See something that said.
So I'm just trying to speed it up to a point where
See something that said, take a look at what.
It may not let me do it because I'm very laggy at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it available here for me either. So don't worry about it. But just go and look at him. That's his hat just in the top corner there, I can see. But go back, play it, look at what he was, the way his mouth is. And I am sure it's "We are proud."
I'm just trying to get it back here a bit.
That's almost the right spot.
Almost.
Just there. He does it 3 times. So if you hit play from there, you'll probably get it.
I'm trying, but it doesn't want to play it unless you're hearing it.
No, it's not playing it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, now share screen because I've got one more thing to share with you, which is this one.
People, we were talking about, just before we get to that, somebody asked about the angle of the shot and how far the crowd is behind Trump. So I think this is the video that'll give you a reasonable idea. He was shooting across the stage and across Trump at sort of a 45-degree angle. The stage that Trump is standing on, the plinth, is about a meter, bit over, maybe 1.5 meters high, and is, I would say, 10 meters deep from the back to the front. It might be 5 meters. Depth is hard to see. I haven't seen anybody step it out, but it's quite a size, a 5x5 or a 5x10 meter platform that is raised. The first layer of bleachers behind Trump that you see in the front on shot, they look very close, but that is a trick of the lenses being used on TV cameras. It brings the audience closer. They are about 5 meters further back, maybe further, maybe it might be 10. I think 10 is probably a bit much, but say between 5 and 10 further back from the stage. And then stage right of Trump, as we view the show, so to his left, but our right, there is where the Secret Service have parked the vehicle that they will put Trump to remove him from the area. And there is also a large tractor or a telehandler with a banner that is hanging off it that has been extended very high into the air. One of the shots hits that telehandler and blows
It wasn't a banner.
hydraulic.
It wasn't a banner. It was the speakers.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
the
Well,
speakers.
it's the blacks. It's the blacks covering
Yeah,
the
the
speakers.
big black thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a black. Yeah, it's a bit of black cloth. So, so just watch this. You'll. I think this is the video.
He was doing his job. I wouldn't even be doing this. I get some beautiful place with the gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there.
Yeah, so this
Right there, see him?
Time. This is
Laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And still I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator
What's happening?
elected and to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here. And it's much tougher than if it happened. We have the strongest border ever. In recorded history, we're the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have?
I don't know if that was playing still or not. It's still jammed up.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was.
Yeah,
it was still going through, but that wasn't the
50
one.
second point. It was 50 seconds. The point that they get to. They'd been warning the local police there for 50 seconds. The coppers didn't do anything about it before the first shots were fired. And I will dig out that other bit of video. I've got so much of it floating here that I haven't labeled it at the moment, so it's not immediately identifiable. But to finish that, the shot goes diagonally, if you like, through Trump's ear, and not the first shot, not the second or the third shot. We believe either the fourth or the fifth shot in the volley of shots that comes after that have hit Trump. So there was clear space for the most part behind Trump, except when the shooter went a bit wild and started pulling shot, because the weapon would have been moving around a lot, and not being a good shooter in the first place. It wasn't on a tripod. It wasn't on a rest. So it would have been bouncing all over the tin roof. That's how other people got hit. And my understanding is that the gentleman that got hit protecting his daughter, who, or a wife, was it?
Wife and daughter, both.
Right. Well, they were sitting in the bleachers to stage right, and right at the very end of those bleachers. So he has come around and shielded them and got collected. One of those shots, like we say, the fourth or the fifth, has hit the hydraulic line on the telehandler, burst it and sprayed what I assume to be bloody hot hydraulic fluid over the audience sitting at that back end of the bleacher. But between Trump's head and the far right-hand corner of the bleacher, there is probably a good 10 to 15 meter gap that's straight through. You either hit the telehandler or you hit Donald Trump's waiting van, which was parked down there. Secret Service, other people, security people, that area was very clear because it was their escape route. So there weren't too many bodies around. Unfortunately, I think the people died and got injured when it wasn't the first three shots. It was the multiples that came after in an uncontrolled fashion.
The other five.
Just basically, just sprayed the area, hoping to do some damage to Trump, but wasn't really, able to see where he was shooting. His eyes closed by that time, and I think they were closed permanently a few seconds later. So,
okay, Murray Rivers
I do
says, so Murray Rivers says that Trump was struck from glass from the teleprompter. We've got video that proves that's false.
No,
right,
that didn't happen.
Right, both teleprompters were still there after the shots.
So,
Oh, and Carl's dropped out a bit.
5.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident they'll still be there then too. But no, he wasn't cut by teleprompter. The teleprompters were 1.5 meters either side of him and at least a meter forward of him. They have to be, otherwise they're very difficult to read. So no, teleprompter, definitely not. It is still intact after the first 3 shots, by which time Trump's on the ground. So definitely not. Don't get confused by that.
Yeah, he gives us some.
This is the picture you wanted to share?
This is right. So there's been a little bit of confusion as to the sizing of the hoodies. So it is basically from your underarm here across your front. Measure that, right? And then that's the size you want to choose. So not the whole way around, just from here to here. And then from here down for your depth. All right, that picture is available on our website as well. I've put it up there, just above the sizing charts if anyone's want to guess. So unless you're a very, very, very huge person, right, I think we've got most sizes covered for men, not as much for women, unfortunately, and I will try and work on that as we go. But just wanted to have that up there so people could understand the sizing. If they wish to check it, it's there. Done, Carl.
Roger that. All very good. Thank you very much for your work on all of that too, buddy. Got to be honest, it's the first time I've had an order for anything to put on the top of me that has been in 2 figures, like double figures. It's normally triples. So
you want to be careful. You might just sink yourself again. Just watch it.
Yeah.
You'll get me going in a minute.
Mate, I just want to thank you for all your help tonight and all the work you've done. I've been bouncing a lot of what I've been doing today off Vince, and he's been throwing back counter bullshit in some cases.
Thank you very much. Yeah, righto.
No. I'm not at all being derogatory. He's been a great help.
Yeah. No. We like stirring each other up, guys. That's fine. And yes, I am in Tim's lounge room.
Yes, in Tim's lounge room tonight. How very nice. And of course, Tim is still there, so you're not dating Corinne behind his back.
Oh, definitely not. I would not dare do that to my best mate. Come on, be fair.
You certainly not. Okay, well, I'm just having a bit of a glance down to see if there's anything else there that I can immediately ask or answer. And it doesn't look to be anything there at the moment. So thank you, folks, for your indulgence tonight. We run nearly an hour and a half. So thanks, Vince, for all the work that you've done. And thank you for letting me bounce some of my theories off you over the last day or two, because you go a bit square-eyed looking at all this stuff and going, trying to match up noises with vision bits and all that. And the screens I'm working on are pretty small, so you wind up looking at it like this, and is that how it works? And yeah, so if my eyes are looking red and squarish, that is the reason why. So yeah. All right, mate. Thanks. Love your work. And we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, members, if you want to join us at vofhq.com, become a member, and you get free shipping on anything you buy out of the merch shop. How good is that? You won't get that if you're not a member. You pay for your own shipping, but it's not the world's most expensive shipping. We've got,
it depends on what we're shipping. I mean, it might be silver for all you know. You just
that's
know.
True. I mean, if anybody wants one of those, I can help you out and ship it in a secure fashion to you. Or if you want to hang out, how to deliver it, depending on where you are. So these are the 1/10 rounds, by the way, in case you were wondering, from Ainsley. I did show one the other night. Harms picked his up, and we had a look around Byron Bay yesterday for them. So they're about the size of a 5-cent piece, and they are truly and just feeling that is so sharp on the edges. I love that feeling of something that's, just so new, so sharp.
I'm looking
and
forward to
shiny.
getting mine.
Shiny.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. I
Shiny
have one of
gold.
these for you. So,
Yes. As soon as I send you some money for it, anyway. But
yeah, there will be that.
I'm going to do my customary sign off the same way I sign on.
Scotty, before you go, Scotty wants to know if you can still order hoodies. Yes, you can. If you put an order in, I think, did you say we're doing another order on Friday?
I'm going to try and do another order on Friday. If not, it will come in on Monday. But yes, you're welcome to put orders in. And for this second order, we will still also honour the free shipping for
everybody.
For everybody
Yep.
that's in that second order. Third order, bad luck. It'll be on the system properly then. So, but yeah, thanks for all of those who have purchased the hoodies, and there's been quite a few out there. So we should see a lot of people happily wandering around in nice warm hoodies with Freedom Broadcasting Network on the back and Voice of Freedom on the front. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to mine. Mind you, I am wearing my official shirt today.
You are. Got the official shirt on. Actually, I want to say I've probably got one on. Yeah, I do too.
But you're colder
Fern.
than you
Fern, I said the size was a dime. I think
say goodbye to me, Carl, and put the screen in full so she can see.
Righto, I'll shut up. Goodbye, Vince. Thanks, brother. Fern, not being really au fait with the American dime size, I want to say it's closer to a 10-cent piece. Would that be right? If that's the case, this is the 1/10 bob, the half bob, which is a half-ounce coin, half-ounce round, I beg your pardon. That is closer to a dime size, but weighs a bit more. This size, but weighs, I would say, less than a 5-cent piece. But worth, in Byron Bay, $10. The actual silver price in these, I guess, is somewhere between $6 and $7, probably closer to $7. And then, of course, there is some stamping and all that sort of stuff that's got to go on. And I think the Ainsley price to you is about, without looking it up right now straight away, last time I looked, it was $7.28 each. But you can only get them in rolls of 40 at the moment, which means that you pay around $300 for a roll of 40. But these things are appreciating more or less every day and going up and up and up and up and up. And if 40 and $300 might be a bit too much to manage for you, send me an email, let me know. They have got 15s coming out. And I don't mean like 1/15. I mean, there will be tubes of 15 rather than 40 available, which will make them a little bit more affordable for those that want to get involved and play with them. But certainly a marvelous way of being able to go and pay for your bacon and eggs and a couple of coffees at breakfast, particularly if you're down at Byron, but I believe Noosa, Karoi, Cooktown's very interested, Mariba, places up there, very keen, Cairns. I've got a fishing mate, good old Skipper Pete. He's very keen to start flinging silver around, but I'm not sure if that's on the end of a fishing rod, trying to entice something onto the hook below it, or to spend at the local coffee shop. I'm looking forward to getting up there and finding out. I won't bother taking it to Rob, our gold mining mate, because, well, it's silver. It won't really impress him very much. He'll just turn around and say, I see the gold. $7.40. Well, there you go, Sunflower. Since when I picked these up, they were $7.28. So silver is slowly on the increase. And I'm not going to make any money on these if I give you some of these, sell them to, I've got to sell them to you at exactly the same price that Ainsley would sell them to you for on the same day, because why would I be pricing more? Why would you buy it from me if you were going to pay more for it? That doesn't make any sense. So I might be able to help you out with one or two of those if you catch me up and let me know that you want them. Otherwise, according to Sunflower, and well, it'll only keep going up. The other thing that we learned in Byron Bay the other day when we were there, is that the price that they've attributed to the 1/10, the half, and the full bob is flexible in line with what the price of silver is doing at the time. So at the moment, they have an agreed value of $10 each for the 1/10 bob. That's good enough for a cup of coffee, a biscuit, or a bit of slice, and a small tip for your waiter, if it's been good service. A half bob is valued at $32. That's plenty enough for you to buy 2 bacon and egg breakfasts, a couple of coffees, and maybe a donut to take home. And the full bob, the 1 ounce Ainsley round, is valued at $55. Now, I think you can buy them at the moment for $51. So you're getting more value straight off the top immediately you buy it. And should the price of silver go up more, then you will find that it will probably go up to a value of $60. The half ounce might go up to $35. And these little bloggers might really go up. Instead of being at $10 like they are now, you might find the value could be $12 or $15. That's generally what's going to happen with the way metals work and the way metal is currently going in the market, which is up with a bullet, folks. I couldn't recommend to you highly enough to go and get yourself a bit of precious metal in your own kick. If only for a little bit of peace of mind. If you've got super and you've got a big wad of super, you wouldn't mind getting some precious metals. You don't have to get all your super out, but a self-managed super fund is the way to go. It will help you get all of your wealth back under your control, and the fees and charges that you are being rorted for, well, you can kiss those goodbye. And Cass and her team from Freedom Financial Solutions are the people that help you access that super in the most expedient manner possible. So go and get into that. That will really help you out. And if you've got questions, Cass will be available at our lunch down here at the Boathouse Tavern in Coomera from 12:30 next Sunday. The phone number, if you want it, is 0755029800. I thought I'd put it in the little thing across the bottom there, but obviously I didn't. Give them a call and tell them you'd like to be on the Voice of Freedom table or my table, whatever, and we will see you there. Murray, you're going to keep buying gold. Good on you, mate. That's going up in the same place too. I don't have any gold. Well, that's not true. I do have some gold. There is a wonderful man named Hugh who gave me a small 1 gram piece of gold. God love you, Hugh. Thank you so much. So I am very special about it. That is the only gold I possess. However, in my possession at the moment, I have this little beauty, truly stunning. That is actually owned by one of our folks in the chat. I'm not going to tell you whose unless he owns up in the chat, but that's currently in my hot little hand. That is a 1/10 2014 Kookaburra coin. It is just, that photo does not do it justice. It is so pretty, but it is a 1/10 ounce gold coin, and I have a platinum one of those as well for our good friend in the chat. And I saw somebody before saying that they like kookaburras. I thought, well, yep, that's a pretty nice kookaburra to have in your kick if you can have one. Ainsley have them, and in fact, if you're into collecting them for the years, I can tell you that Ainsley currently have, well, the reason that these particular ones are so special, and I'll put this up again, there are only 15,000 of these minted every year, and only 1,500 of the 15,000 stay in Australia. 500 of the 1,500 that stay in Australia are sold through the Perth Mint. The other 1,000 are only available exclusively through Ainsley Bullion. And they don't have terribly many. They're always left with a few of each year at the end of it. So if these sorts of things just get your, you've just seen them for the first time and they're starting to, tweak your interest from a collector's position, these are really good, I'm told by the gentleman in our chat who knows these things. These are really good little investment opportunities. So I know the other day when I was in there getting this one that they had a 22, a 23, and a 24 available if you wanted to get, the 20 set, and that in Melbourne they could get me a 20 and a 21. But they were the last two of those, I think, is what was said at the time. I might be getting that wrong. But anyway, there are collectible opportunities with these little things. And while they are gold and do attract a certain cost, well, what's gold doing at the moment? It's not going down anywhere, is it? There you go. Silver Fox 1/10 gold Kookaburra from 2020. And Murray, yep, good advice there too, mate. Thank you. Although we don't offer financial advice in this program, it's the last thing you would do. And if you've been watching this program for any time at all, you'd be an idiot to take financial advice from me. I think we're all aware of that. Yes, ads, good advice. Careful from anybody buying metal from anyone that isn't a registered trader. And look, a lot of people, for whatever reason, say, I'm going to buy some gold. Oh, I saw it on Marketplace. Or it was on Gumtree, or it's a whole pile of scrap gold and I'm just going to melt it down and make $1 million out of the bar. Well, you might get lucky, but odds are you're going to get ripped off really badly if you don't know what you're doing, don't know what you're looking for. So always, always, always go to a reputable, trusted, registered precious metals dealer. And there is no more reputable or trusted than Ainsley Bullion. They've been doing this for 50 years straight, and they have a beautiful 50th anniversary coin out this year to prove it. A 1 ounce coin, or a 1 ounce round, it is. I guess it's not a coin because it's got the Ainsley 50th logo thing spread all over it. They're available, I think, for $53 off the website. Go and have a look. They are truly beautiful. But yeah, don't buy from eBay. Don't buy from Amazon. Good advice, George. Only go to a dealer that has been in the business for a long time, has a reputation that they have spent a long time building up. It's a respected one, and they are not going to let it be torn down by, ripping people off in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, I know someone today who's had an experience in the vault where they had thought they knew that they had more product in a vault than was actually in the vault, and they were querying how that could actually be. And that person actually forgot that they'd had 2 vaults where all the other stuff happened to be stored. So just as well, even if you have a brain fading moment, Ainsley and the vault are all over it, and they'll look after you. Go and check them out. ainsleyBullion.com.au. My choice if I'm going to be buying gold and silver. And trust me, I'm not buying it, but I am in the market for sharing it with you if the opportunity arises. And I can't tell you how cute these things are, and how nicely they just fit, into the hand. Byron's a great place to go out, and I'm planning on going back in the very near future to fling a few more of them around and catch up with David Worth, who is the man behind the Byron Bob scheme down there, and we'll find out exactly how it is working. All right, folks. News. We'd love you to come and join us for lunch on Sunday at the Boathouse Tavern down in Coomera. They now have the date right. It is definitely this coming Sunday. And if they do not tell you that the booking is for this coming Sunday, you can tell them that this happened last time I booked a table for 20, and we are going to be there this Sunday come hell or high water, and we'll sit wherever the hell we please. Middle of the floor if we have to eat, but we will catch up regardless. Tim, he's got a lot of great stories. We'll talk the hydrogen units if you want to learn a bit more about them. Oh, and I believe a family member has purchased one of those up on the Sunshine Coast. It too, I think, is being hand delivered. So congratulations on your investment. And if you tell me I can talk about you and what it's like, maybe we'll get you on for a bit of a chat once it's installed, and you can tell us about your mileage experience. That would be pretty flash. But if you want to learn the secrets behind the hydrogen fuel system that I run on the bus, and so many of you have now employed in your own vehicles, love to hear the stories. By all means, send them through. Catch up with the man who put it all together. That's Tim Dwyer this Sunday at the Boathouse Tavern. And Cass will be there too to help out with any superannuation or at least pointing directions to the bar. I've found that she's been very useful in that regard as well on the odd occasion. And not because she's drinking light at the bar, she just knows how to send me to it. You're here for that. And of course, once you've been to the bar, you're always going to be one of those dickheads on the road, aren't you? So remember, if you are going to come to the pub and you are going to have a couple of drinks, make sure you don't be a dickhead on the road.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!